Hello, we're going to be starting looking at winds today, the air element, the final element, sun, rain, soil and wind, the more tangible version of fire, water, earth and air. So just go outside and feel the breeze, make that connection with the wind. I'm trying to make this experiential because these spiritual traditions, they so often wander off into ideas. Even when we talk about air, we're in an idea. Yeah, fair enough, but we lose that connection to the body, to the heart, to experience. And this is what chaos shamanism is always pulling us back to. It's always a pulling that we need to do. As human beings, we head off into abstraction. It's our gift and it's our weakness. So we need to keep pulling ourselves back. And this is a very appropriate spiel for the air element because that's what the air element's about. It's about ideas and their power, but also the way they can take us away from ourselves. Maybe it's the air element that it gives us, it makes us the animal that doesn't know who it is because we're always being pulled off into our ideas about things and away from our immediate experience. With fire, water, and earth, you're always in them. You know who you are. You know what you are. You just live them. You live what you feel. You're inspired by that new life of the fire. You have a body and the world around you for the earth, and you're just in it. You're subsumed into it. The animal and the plant world, they are what they are, and that doesn't make them better or worse. That judgment, that's another human thing. But it's something different. And so we wander away from knowing who we are. But it can do the opposite. It can also help us know who we are more deeply. It's a funny old business. And I'm doing this video in the spirit of chaos because I haven't done one on these elements for a couple of weeks now, and I can't remember what I said in the previous ones. I've had just gone back and done a brief recap, and I've already touched on a number of the North things. And I wrote a book on the medicine wheel, and there's 84 pages on the air element. Don't worry, I'm not going to inflict 84 pages on you. I'm just going to inflict, in some ways, the essence. Yeah, and come at it. I wrote the medicine wheel book 3 years ago, and I'm coming at it again now. And there's going to be a different angle, yeah, new stuff, and particularly from this spirit of chaos. And that is congruent with the traditional way of teaching. Because the traditional way of teaching, you don't have a script. You respond to the audience. And on the one hand, that's more appropriate to them. And also, that gives your being more freedom to speak, for spirit to speak. Something bigger, something outside yourself can come through. I'm starting to wander a bit now, but that's air for you. And I'm going to wander and come back to my themes because I was thinking about, well, spirit coming through. I was thinking about the theme of authentic, because I noticed when I started reteaching, coming back to teaching a few years ago, I got the comment that I was authentic, and people liked that. And I thought, well, what's that about? Well, I didn't think too much about what it's about, but on one level, I thought, well, I do try and just be open about who I am, what I find difficult, yeah, which I've probably bored you to death with already. Yeah? The things that make me anxious, the things that make me cross, why I doubt myself. Yeah, all those things. Why I can get depressed if I'm not writing. Yeah, if I'm not doing the next creative thing. My own tribulations, they're not a big deal. I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. Yeah, but I'm with them. I'm not denying them either. And now, why was I saying that? Yes, authentic, authentic. I thought, well, authentic is just about being that. Yeah, because if I'm open about who I am, one, the people I'm talking to, you're on a level with me, and two, you feel you can be open about your stuff too. That you're not worse than everyone else. I used to think I was worse than everyone else as well, and I don't think I do anymore actually, but a lot of people do. Yeah, you're the one person in the room who can't do the shamanic journeying, or can't sing, or can't do whatever. Yeah, or whose problems are worse than everyone else's. We all feel a bit like that. Yeah, and then when we talk about them, we realise everyone's the same. So that's one level of authentic. But then I realised, because a friend was talking to me in the car, she'd been watching my videos. And so if you're just reading this in book form, which it might eventually come to, I hope, yeah, go and have a look at the vids. Chaos Shamanism on YouTube. Yeah. She was saying she can watch almost things flowing through me, and different things flowing through me depending on my expression. Sometimes I'll look downwards, and she says sometimes when you look downwards and think there's something like uh something quite deep you're grappling with, and when you look up over there, it's maybe something else, something inspirational. I don't know, some kind of new idea. I don't know, but she's getting all these different moods, this sense of something flowing through me. And I realized, yes, that's what authenticity is about as well, is that you've got something real to say that is more real than ordinary reality. And it's not like I've got something to say. Yeah, it's like something is using me as a vehicle, and it is able to do that because I've spent years developing a reasonably solid foundation in myself, but also because I'm giving it the freedom to do that by the way I do these talks and the way I write. And so the authenticity isn't just being open about your ordinary human stuff. It's also about something coming through you that is more real. And that is catalytic. Yeah? That will change you without you knowing it. Yeah? That's what transmission's about, which an earlier video involved. Um, it's difficult. It can be difficult to talk about this area because it's always like making claims for myself, and I don't want to make claims for myself. Because it puts you in an ego place, or it gets others to put you on a pedestal if you're not very careful. And the job of a teacher is to keep handing that back. We're in the north now, we're in the air element, and that's also the place of the teacher. So you can see there's a number of different strands opened up here already. And we've already done 8.5 minutes. The key word I use for the north, because I use a key word for the east, which is initiation. Key word for the south is emotional awakening. Key word for the west is incarnation. And the key word for the north is perspective, because that's what air gives us. Air has the ability to move. You find it right up high. You find it right down low by the ground, in the nitty gritty of things. It can analyze, it can look. Air can look, you see, because it stands back. So it's got that detailed vision, which is, well, that's more a south quality where you're close to yourself. The south is also, the water element is also called the close to place. Whereas this is more like a far seeing place. The wind goes up high and it's got the bigger vision. That's why I call it perspective. But it's not just because, well, what is that rising up high? Well, it's not just about standing up above, yeah, and saying I've got the bigger vision. Actually, it's more an emotional quality of being able to stand back from what you want to think and from what you want to believe. And people find that incredibly difficult. We'll come on to that in the next one.